the best time of the season. The NHL playoffs are here, so you know we gotta create the Austin Loves You playoff bracket. And, I'm going to go wild here. I'm going to have some upsets. So if your favorite team doesn't make it through, I apologize. Realistically, the Stanley Cup champions this year should have been the Ottawa Senators. But yeah, you know how it goes. But let's get right into it. So we'll do this as a two-part video. The first part will be me doing a Stanley Cup bracket. And the second part, we're actually going to go into NHL 23 and simulate the playoffs and see who comes out as Stanley Cup champions. So let's get into it. We'll start with the West side first. So Colorado, Seattle. I told you there's going to be some upsets, but in this particular game or series, I don't imagine an upset. Colorado's too good. Seattle, good on you for making the playoffs in year number 2, but it is hard to predict against the defending Stanley Cup champions. Even without Landeskog, they still have McKinnon, Rantanen, Cal McCarr. Like, the list goes on and on. You can, Devon Toews, there's so many different players. Alex Newhook's stepping up this year. Seattle, it was you got the best branding in the league, if anything, but that's a tough round 1 matchup. Round number 2 will be a little bit more interesting, but we got Dallas versus Minnesota up next. And honestly, I'm torn between this one. Dallas had a really, really, really good season, but Minnesota is also a really good team. I'm going to go ahead. At the end of the day, is Caprill the Thrill going to bring Minnesota to round number 2? The goaltending, we got Gusterson on one side / Fleury. Who are they going to start in the nets? It looks like it's probably going to be Gusterson, but you can always rely on Fleury. But I'm going to go with, I believe he pronounced his name as Ottinger? I don't know how to pronounce it. They're going to yell at me. But Dallas Stars, round number 2, advancing to play Colorado. And at the bottom here, we got Vegas Golden Knight finishing first place in the Western Conference this year, playing the Winnipeg Jets. And honestly, I feel like this is a very good matchup for the Winnipeg Jets. You may look at it and say, I don't know what you're thinking, Austin. Well, let me break it down here. Connor Hellebuyck. That's all I got to say. Connor Hellebuyck has the ability to steal a series. And honestly, if you look at Winnipeg, they're not that bad. You got Mark Scheifele, you got Nikolai Ehlers. If he's not concussed, I know he got a big hit in the last game that he played. Josh Morrissey's been having a Norris-worthy candidate season if Erik Karlsson wasn't an absolute hero this year. And I'm not putting down Mark Stone and the Vegas Golden Knights, but I'm going to go ahead and say Winnipeg advances to round number 2. And then the final matchup in round number 1, we have the Edmonton Oilers versus, honestly, kind of the surprising LA Kings. We saw this matchup, I believe it was last year in the play, or 2 years ago in the playoffs as well. 1 or 2 years ago. I can't remember off the top of my head. But obviously, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl versus Anze Kopitar is really what's going to come down to. Drew Doughty's been having a good year, so he's going to help out there. The goaltending situation, LA Kings probably have a slight edge there, but Stuart Skinner has been playing really well. I'm not going to go too big into it. Connor McDavid, he's going to get it done, and he's going to... Oh, here we go. I didn't see this screen. And he's going to defeat the LA Kings. So I think Colorado gets it done in 5. Dallas, I'm going to go in 6 games. Winnipeg, I'm going to go in 6 games as well. And Edmonton, I'm going to say in 5 games. Submit, round number 1 has been complete. And here we go. We got Colorado and the Dallas Stars. And give me another ups. Just kidding. We're taking Colorado to go through the Dallas Stars. Even though I think it will be a good series. But I'm taking Colorado. We got Winnipeg and Edmonton. Give me the Edmonton Oilers over the Winnipeg Jets in that series. The goaltending could help out here. I just think that McDavid is unstoppable. And I think this is a very fair NHL Western Conference Finals. And I'm going to leave them there for now. Let's go to the East. Let's start with the Rangers and Devils. Honestly, this might be the most exciting series for offense in the whole Eastern Conference matchups. They got some pretty cool ones here. But the New Jersey Devils versus the New York Rangers. And there's 2 parts of this. One, my heart's telling me something. And then the other one, my brain is telling me something. My heart is telling me the New Jersey Devils, but my brain is telling me the New York Rangers with Shesterkin, Panarin, Patrick Kane, Mika Zibanejad, Jacob Trouba. There's just so many stars, but Luke Hughes, Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. The Devils are fun to watch, and I wouldn't be upset if that happened. Honestly, I like either of these teams, but I'm going to go with the New York Rangers. Next up, we got the Carolina Hurricanes and then the New York Islanders. And honestly, I think the Islanders are going to get smoked in this. I think it's going to be a 6-game or 5-game series, not 6, sorry. 5-game series, and I think Carolina comes out. But the Islanders, they do get Matt Barzal back, so that's going to help. So imagine the Battle of New York in round number 2. That'd be quite interesting. But I'm going to go Carolina. Moving up. Okay, here we go. This is the marquee first round matchup of the entire playoffs. You got the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Tampa Bay Lightning here. Goals per game, points pretty similar. Goals per game, pretty similar. Goals against, Toronto has a slight edge. But in the playoffs, they got Vasilevsky, and that's proven to be a dominant factor. Power play, basically identical. Penalty kill, basically identical. William Nylander, leading scorer, which is surprising. And Braden Point, also surprising. I don't know if that's leading scorer points or goals. But this one, it's tough. But this is the year that the Toronto Maple Leafs finally take down the Demons, and they get to the second round. And, we'd like to see it. Just kidding. Tampa Bay's going to take them out. Sorry, Leafs fans. Tampa Bay wins that in 7 games as per usual there. Nick Paul probably lights it up again. And the final matchup, the President's Trophy winning 121 point, 3.6 goals for per game. Boston Bruins taking on the Florida Panthers, who just snuck in, who actually have a better power play percentage, which is very surprising. But penalty kill is absolutely terrible. But I'm taking Florida in this. I'm taking Florida over the Boston Bruins every single time there's a team that has 60+ wins. It never goes well, and I think for some way they're gonna figure out how it's done. They're gonna solve Boston. That's my wild card pick of the day. Don't destroy me in the comments. And it's going to be done in 6 games. It's not even going to 7. Tampa Bay, definitely in 7. They're probably going to be up 3-2 in game 6, fall in game 6, and in game 7, they're just going to take care of business. Carolina, I mentioned, in 5. And then New York and New Jersey, that's going to 7 as well. So I think that's a fun little series. Now we got Tampa Bay and Florida, and I'm going to continue on the under. I'm just kidding. We're taking Tampa Bay there. They're making their way all the way back to the Eastern Conference Finals. If Boston wins this game, they're going to beat Tampa. If it's like this, it's going to be like that. But I'm taking this and then that. Down here, Carolina and the New York Rangers. I think that the offenses are pretty similar. I think the Rangers actually have probably a little bit better of an offense. But the goaltending, Shesterkin, even though it doesn't look like it, Freddie Anderson's pretty damn good. I'm going to take the New York Rangers over there. So our final 4, we got Colorado, Edmonton, Tampa Bay, and New York Rangers. And for this, I've done no like pre-script to this video. I just turned it on, going off knowledge. A lot of people are going to hate my knowledge, but that's okay. So we got the Rangers versus Tampa Bay Lightning, who are both a 3rd seed in the Atlantic and Metro Division, and then Colorado, Edmonton. So let's start on the west side. We got a rematch from last year's Western Conference Finals, where Edmonton got swept 4-0. I think Edmonton's a different team this year. No Mike Smith. They got Stuart Skinner in. Jack Campbell, don't know if he's going to play. Don't know if he's even going to be good. Obviously, Colorado, you know what we got from there. But goals for per game, look at that. 4 goals for per game. That is insane. Power play, 32%. Penalty kill's pretty terrible. Leading scorer, Connor McDavid. I'm taking an upset here, and I'm going to go with the Edmonton Oilers all the way in the Stanley Cup Finals. The addition of Ekholm, they've been one of the hottest teams in the NHL, and I think they're going to go all the way this year to the Stanley Cup playoff finals at least. And then we have Tampa and the Rangers, the battle of 2 of the best goaltenders in the league here, even though their numbers haven't really showed it. I mean, Shesterkin's playing well, but Vasilevsky's numbers aren't the greatest. I'm going to go with the team that picked up a lot of players at the trade deadline here, including Vladimir Tarasenko and most notably Patty Kane. Give me the New York Rangers. We got the Rangers-Edmonton Finals. This is going to be just an absolute grueler of a finals. You got the top offensive team versus the best goaltender, or one of the best goaltenders, and a top offensive team. But I think this is the year where Connor McDavid proves why he is the greatest hockey player to ever touch the ice, and he's going to win the Stanley Cup. Tiebreaker, it's probably going to be in 6 games, so we'll say probably 8 goals per game. So like give me 48 goals here. And then there it is. Submit. My picks are in. Congratulations to the Edmonton Oilers. Now I'm going to throw it all the way over to NHL 23, and we're going to go take a look at who wins via simulation. The bracket has been loaded into NHL 23. I'm going to simulate each round and update you after every round. We'll see how intact my bracket stays from real life to the game. But in the game, I think they're going to have Colorado win the Stanley Cup. I gotta bring the simulation back here. All the first rounds are done, but what do you know? Tampa Bay, Toronto. Toronto is actually up 3-1 in the series, but we're going to game number 7 here. Let's do a slow sim. Let's see how it goes. First period. Oh, wow. Toronto up 3-0. Second period, 2 goals for Tampa. And is Toronto going to blow a 3-1 series lead? A 3-0 lead in game 7. Can they hold on? 10 minutes, 9 minutes. Can Tampa Bay press with one more? There's peppering the goalie, probably Matt Murray. 2 minutes, 1 minute, and there it is. The Toronto Maple Leafs have eliminated the Tampa Bay Lightning in game number 7. Let's finish this simulation really quickly here as the Rangers do not advance. Let's go look at the playoff bracket here. Where do we go? Round 2. So, Seattle upsets Colorado. Minnesota takes down Dallas. Vegas takes down the Winnipeg Jets, and then Edmonton takes down LA. On the right side, game 7 for Boston, game 7 for Toronto, Carolina, and then game 7 for the New Jersey Devils. Let's continue the simulation. In round 2, 4 game 7s. Let's simulate these. We got Seattle and Minnesota. Minnesota home ice, first period. Second period, Minnesota has the lead. Third period, and they hold on as Minnesota eliminates the Seattle Kraken. Next up, we got the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. I think Edmonton was down 3-1 in this series, so let's see what happens. First period, shots are 14-6, 0-0. Second period, there it is. CC, McDavid, Draisaitl, Phil Kessel, and Amadio. And third period, Edmonton holds on to take down the Vegas Golden Knights. And we find Toronto, who is up 3-1 in this series. Game 7 versus the Boston Bruins here. Who takes it? First period, 1-1. And this would really be Toronto taking the monkey off the back. Just saying. Second period, they have the lead. Marner and Kerfoot, 2 power plays. Shorthanded goal for Brad Marchand. Can they hold on? Third period. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are advancing with their second consecutive Game 7 win here. And then finally, we have the Devils versus the Hurricanes. First period, 0-0. 1-1, 2-2. We're going to overtime. Who's playing hero? Power play for the Devils. It's a long one, and they can't score. And then Carolina comes the other way, and Nikas scores a power play goal to advance to round number 3 here. Who do we have? We got the Minnesota Wild versus the Edmonton Oilers, and the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll keep the simulation going here. Sim to next game, 1-0 Edmonton. What do we got here? 1-0 Hurricanes. 2-0 Edmonton. 1-1 for the Toronto Maple Leafs series. And then that's a big game for the Minnesota Wild. Can Toronto answer back? They do. 2-1 lead for them. Here it is, 3-1 lead for the Edmonton Oilers. Can the Toronto Maple Leafs do the same? They can, and Edmonton can clean up the series here, and they do. Here we go. Does Carolina win? Okay, Toronto versus Edmonton, Stanley Cup Finals. The cup is coming to Canada. The cup is coming to Canada. Let's get the simulations going here. Edmonton, Toronto, Giordano strikes first. Oh, the depth scoring is there. And third period, 1-0 series lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's go into game number 2. 1-1, Bukestad, Willie Nee. Second period, Connor McDavid. Third period, Yamamoto gets 2. And we're tied at 1-1 now. They also had 46 shots. That game was pretty impressive. But I believe we are going to Toronto now at the Air Canada Center First period, 2-0 Edmonton. Fogle and Draisaitl. Oh no. They tie it up. They tie it up there, but two more. Can they hold on? My God, Darnell Nurse scores there. 7-5. That's how I expect the games to go if it's Edmonton versus Toronto. But 2-1 series lead for the Edmonton Oilers. Game number 4. First period, Edmonton, another 2 goals. Power play markers. Evander Kane, Connor McDavid, 5-0. 5 power play goals. Draisaitl scores 2. McDavid gets another. And make it 8-2. Draisaitl completes the hat trick, I believe. Draisaitl does complete the hat tricks. Matthews scores 2 at the end, but it's a 3-1 series lead for the Edmonton Oilers. Can they put it away here on home ice? First period, Drew Shore, I believe his name is, gets the scoring started. Second period, Hyman and Riley. And are we going to get the Stanley Cup champions? It's going to overtime here. Can anyone on Toronto extend the chance to play another game? No. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins ends it, and the Edmonton Oilers, as predicted in my Stanley Cup bracket, are Stanley Cup champions. There you go. That's how it's going to be. And it looks like Leon Draisaitl is going to win the Conn Smythe Trophy. Matthews respectable. Not a lot of high goal scoring in this. McDavid right there with 23. Marner, Matthews, Nuge with 23. So it looks like Nuge may have got hurt. Oh, no, they played one less game. That makes sense. Willie Nee, Brad Marchand was playing really well. Bergeron was playing really well. But there it is. The Stanley Cup champions in both my bracket and the NHL 23 simulation are the Edmonton Oilers. Who do you got winning the Stanley Cup? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. And have a great day. See ya!